What are we talking about today, kids? Handholds. We're talking about handholds. But which handholds? Tekniks handholds. These are the fat rings from Tekniks, shaped by Zoe. They're monstrous. I need a shave. They're huge holds. These are the fat rings that Zoe from Tekniks shaped. 5 holds, nice looking holds. Not stoked about the colour, I have to admit. It's a little bit less Tekniks than I really wanted. First sight for me, and first thing for me pulling these out of the box, is these guys have some very serious heft to them. And I mean serious. Like, I've said before that there's holds on the market that we've had, and I've always said you feel like you can do some damage with them. These you could really do some damage with. They've got a really monster heft to them. They're really quite nice holds though. So we'll go number 1. All of these holds you're looking at absolute monster. Like, my hands aren't that big and I can just about get around, you know. You can easily match all these guys. But they're interesting. They remind me of the Project Jugs, but smaller. The Project Jugs are probably, you know, the smallest one. If you're looking at something that's door handle like this, is probably about this big. These guys are much smaller, much more compact, much better for a home wall than the Project Jugs. Admittedly, they are probably about 3 times the weight, to be honest, and I will check that to make sure. But these guys, they're not just round tubes you get your hands on. There's actually a really good girth. If you look at it from here, it doesn't look like much, but it does actually get thicker. And where the indent is, you've got this really nice gripping position. Like, beginners are going to love these. Beginners on roofs, these are your new best friend. These are so easy. Put them at the start for a dyno, or put them at the start flat out. Stick them at the end for a dyno to the top. Use them for a dyno comp. These things, you know, you've got to be pretty exact. There isn't the biggest opening on the planet with these guys, but they are pretty bloody huge holds. When you look it out the other way, it's deeper this side than it is this side. So you've got this really nice just grab. Like, you could easily match these, although they're not the best thing to be matched. You know, one hand's brilliant, the other hand's not so good, and the other side, other way around, you know, you're pretty much, you know, I've actually got fingers coming out the top of this. It's actually going to be quite hard, but this is just number 1. We'll move on to number 2. Number 2, this guy is actually more like a proper jug. It's very smooth here, and it's a very simple radius. It's thinner on this side for a hand than it is on this side. This side's got a much easier opening, but both of them beautiful round edges, really just great. One thing I have noticed with these, they've always got the little Tekniks star, if you can see that. There's always a little Tekniks star. They've got some really nice bolt holes. The sanding looks absolutely brilliant. It's perfect. The one thing that is actually missing from these, and let's face it, there's no set screw holes on any of these, and it should really be included on anything like this, because you put it like this, it's just going to do that on you all the time. It's just going to rotate. It's something that should really be included with these holds. But this guy, you're looking at, you know, a great big, I've got my hand all the way over this guy, a great big one hand on one side, and the other side a little bit shallower, but again, another massive one-hander. It's just going to be monkey bars across the roof on these guys. They're absolutely bloody massive. On to number 3. This guy is, again, very small opening for your hand on one side. The other side is much, much more open, much bigger. Again, the sanding is absolutely beautiful. You can see that it's actually been sanded. There's a couple of little skipped parts, but both of them, I've done the test, and they're actually pretty flat. This one's a little bit off, but nothing you'd really ever notice on the wall. Once it's cranked in, it's great. The only problem is the way it is, the side that is actually just a little bit off of being square is the side that needs a set screw. Texture wise, these guys are actually really good. It's grippy, but it's not very grippy. Like, if you've played with Tekniks holds since they've moved over to urethane, the holds, especially the Arnold, you hit it and you've got this grip that's there, but it's not there. It's a very funny middle ground. These guys feel a little bit grippier than the Arnold, and they do feel like they're, you know, this is much more solid. The Arnold is hollow back and yellow. It actually feels grippier and feels like you can really get onto it. This guy, you can double hand on the big side, and on the other side, you can only get a single hand on this guy. But either way, you're looking at absolutely bomb-proof roof jugs. Number 4. I'm actually really stoked with this t-shirt. It just says hand holds all the way down it. Hand hold. It's fucking sick. Oops, sorry. Number 4. This guy is a little bit thinner than all the others. You know, so much so you can actually wrap your hands and not worry about it too much. Really huge sloping radius on this side, and a slightly thinner radius on this side. The radius on these guys is actually so wide and smooth. It's nice. You're not, you know, you can see I'm not really gonna have any trouble whatsoever with these guys. And again, this guy's got a really good weight to it. Sorry, the cat's scratching the box. Actually in the Tekniks box that they sent the holes in. But this guy, you're looking at like easy one-hander, really nice on this side. It's actually, this is the thinner side, that's actually the smaller side for your hand. And then on the other side, you've got a much bigger, you could just about, if you work your hands perfectly, you can probably get a hand and just get in a couple for a sneaky match. They're actually really gonna be fun holes to play with. And the last one. The last one is actually the thinnest one of the lot. This guy, you can actually get your hand over and actually get, you know, your fingers almost wrapped around the neck of this guy. Like, think like you're wringing the neck or something. You can really get your hand around this guy. But again, huge open radius, lovely inset washer, always the Tekniks style. I said at the start of this, I wasn't too stoked on the colour. It's a little bit plain. When I think of Tekniks, I think of really bright colours and really quite vibrant holds. And this is, you know, don't get me wrong, it matches our Metolius cobbles really well, and it actually matches a bunch of our holds really quite well. But I normally expect Tekniks to orange or mad pink or some purple you've never seen ever before, you know. Like a colour from the unicorn rainbow is half what I'm expecting from Tekniks half the time. Although it does actually match, now I think about it, it does actually match the shirt quite well. Interesting one about this guy is that even though I said you can only get a single hand around it, because you can, if you look at the other side, there's a sneaky double hand match. So people are going to grab it, and they're going to grab it through the opening depending on how you set it. They're going to be like, the hole is like this, and they're just going to grab it like this. But what they don't realise is there's another great big pocket. Like, this has got the biggest opening out of all of them. Hand here, hand here. Absolutely bomber. I thought it was going to be quite hard to grab hold of, and people will be deceived by this hold. It's actually probably the most deceptive of the holds, but it's grab it, you're laughing, you know. Wait, you can do it the other way around. Grab it and grab it.